So for this zombie makeup, I'm actually going to be using the Wuchi, I think is how you pronounce it, zombie makeup kit. I actually got this at Party City for $16. And it's amazing. I can't wait to finally use it. It comes with prosthetics. It even has blood gel, a little bottle of liquid latex. It comes with 2 cosmetic wedges, a stippled sponge, and I really love these sponges because these are for like giving out amazing like textured effects. You stipple this onto the skin and it really gives a nice skin texture. And I also have a little bottle of spirit gum, which is great for applying prosthetics. So for the very first step in this tutorial, I'm actually going to start creating wounds and gashes on my face. So what I'm doing is that I'm taking the 1 ounce bottle of liquid latex that comes in the kit, and this is amazing for creating gashes and open wounds. And I'm going to take one of the sponges that comes in the kit, and I'm going to cut the sponge in half, because that way you'll have more use of the sponge later on when applying the makeup. And I'm gonna use the bottom half, which is the thickest, to apply the latex. So what I'm gonna do first is that I'm gonna take the sponge dipped in liquid latex and I'm going to apply the latex on my cheek, which is where I want the wound to be. And I'm just going to apply it like this. Now while the latex is drying, I'm actually going to take pieces of tissue paper to create the fake skin. Now what you want to do is just tear the tissue paper in half and take one of the thinner halves and just shred it in a small piece. Make sure that the edges of the tissue paper are rough and jagged like this because they will blend better into the skin. And while the latex is drying, you just want to apply the tissue paper or toilet paper on top of the latex. And take off the excess. Then take your sponge dipped in latex and cover it again. And once you've coated the entire thing with more liquid latex, you're gonna take more tissue paper and just start layering it on top until you have about 5 or 6 coats of it. So I actually did 5 layers of liquid latex, and while this is drying, I'm going to start applying the prosthetics. And in the kit, there's this big wound prosthetic that I really want to try out, and I'm just going to apply it in my cheek. So for that, I'm going to be using spirit gum. And the trick to using spirit gum and to apply a prosthetic is that you're going to take the spirit gum and smear it on the area you want the wound to be. Then with your finger, you're going to tap the spirit gum till it becomes tacky. And you see that it's going to start feeling very sticky, which is the perfect time to apply the prosthetic. So now that the prosthetic is stuck there, we're going to start sticking down the edges. So a little tip for using spirit gum is an adhesive, so it's going to be very sticky to work with, especially if it's on your fingers. So what I would recommend is that you have some sort of remover next to you, and I actually have spirit gum remover, which unfortunately does not come in the kit, but you can actually get this separately for like $2. You can actually get both spirit gum and the spirit gum remover for $2 the packet. So, yeah, I would really recommend having either makeup remover or spirit gum remover next to you if you're working with spirit gum. So now what I'm gonna do is that some prosthetics can tend to lift up a little bit and show some edges, and obviously when you're working with prosthetics, you don't want any edge or any seam to show. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to take some liquid latex on a Q-tip, And I'm going to dab the latex on the edges of the prosthetic, so that will hide the edges. So another tip for using liquid latex is that liquid latex is a liquid rubber and also an adhesive, so you might want to keep it away from your hair. If you're applying liquid latex, if you're applying liquid latex anywhere near your facial hair, I would recommend that you either block it out like the eyebrows or beard or mustache so that you wouldn't get any liquid latex on top of it. Also, if you're doing it anywhere near the hairline, I would recommend that you pull your hair back into a ponytail or do something with it. Just don't get it near your hair because that would be quite a problem. Liquid latex is a pain in the butt to get off your hair, plus it can also pull out the hair and it will cause pain, so you don't want to do that. So now that I feel that the liquid latex and the tissue paper has dried, I'm going to take some scissors, and please be careful in this step. I'm going to start cutting a little wound using the scissors. Again, please be careful. So in here I have sort of an entry wound and an exit wound. So now I'm gonna start applying the makeup, and for that I'm using the zombie stack that came in the kit, and I'm using this light flesh color on top, and I'm taking the bottom half of a sponge to apply the makeup. So now we're gonna move on to contouring the face, and for that I'm going to use this dark red or dark, I don't know, it's this dark red color that comes in the zombie stack. I think it's like a brownish or purplish kind of color. I don't know, it has a mix between purple and brown in there. And I'm gonna use the thin part of the sponge, so the top half. So now I'm gonna be taking a small flat brush like this, and just a tiny bit of the red in here, or if you have a pink eyeshadow or pink cream makeup, then use just a small amount of it, sorry, and apply this on the bottom lid, because it will give it more of a sick effect, like you're just sick and tired, and it will look more realistic. For more of a zombie lip, I'm taking the purple from the zombie stack and I'm just dabbing it all over the lip, like this. And I'm smudging it out. And for the dry zombie lips, I'm taking the grayish light flesh foundation again. And this time I'm piercing my lips. And voila. Now you have cracked lips. So now I'm gonna take a bigger flat brush like this, and I'm gonna take the purple makeup, and I'm going to apply the dark purple makeup on the inside edges of the wound we just made out of latex and tissue. Now I'm gonna take the red from the zombie stack, and I'm going to fill in the wound. So now we're going to take the red from the zombie stack again, and we're going to add the red around the wound. This will give it more of an irritation skin effect. And it will make it look more realistic. Now taking the smaller brush again, I'm going to start filling in these tiny little wounds that I did in my chin. So now I'm going to take the stippled sponge, and I'm going to stipple on the purple color on my face just to give a lot more texture to the skin and make it look patchy and broken down. I don't like how this wound is sort of lighter than this one, so I'm just going to take the dark red and color it in. Now for the fun part, we're going to start applying the blood gel. If you feel as if the blood is too sticky, you can always thin it down with some water. So now I'm going to thin down the blood with some water, and I'm going to take a small flat brush, and I'm going to splatter the blood on this wound so that it will look like, you know, I just had an entry wound in here and I had the exit wound here and it just splattered blood. So I finished the look off by putting on 2 contact lenses from youknowit.com. They're called Wildfire. They're amazing. I'll put the link down below. Also, I wet my hair to make it look very greasy and very sweaty because zombies are disgusting. And also I made and put on a costume which I actually made this summer for Comic-Con. I went as a The Walking Dead zombie, and as you can see, I made it to a very sweaty, disgusting, bloody zombie type shirt. So yeah. So my camera just died. I'm like... So I hope you guys really enjoyed this makeup tutorial, and if you did, make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel because that really helps me out. If you would like to see more of me, you can visit my Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter. I will put the links down below. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and see you next time.